Hello and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Rewind. I am your host, Travis.
And I'm Chris.
You are
Still.
Chris. You are Chris.
Yeah.
Wow. You're looking very Chris-like today.
I know, yeah, I got dressed for the podcast. For the audio only.
The audio only. The audio only podcast is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you can't see us.
Yeah.
That's how we roll around here. But Chris, tell me something. Why are we here? Why are we recording? Why did I hit that red record button?
Because I missed you, man.
Oh, well.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
You know? And now that COVID's over, apparently. I'm getting used to seeing the sunlight again.
How dare you say COVID is over? Matter of fact, why aren't you wearing a mask? Go out there and put a mask on.
Why aren't you wearing a mask?
It's my house. I don't want to wear a mask. Anyway, why are we here?
Apparently, Doctor Strange tickled our pickles enough that we had to talk about it.
He didn't tickle nothing. And you can't prove that either.
Well, Nancy. Nah.
She has nothing to do with this, even though she was right there. Anyway, yes, there was a new movie, MCU. I think this is movie 28, I believe.
Sure.
We'll go with that.
At this point,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Doctor Strange in the
multiverse of
It is 2022, so obviously we have to have a movie with the word multiverse in it.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're at in life right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doctor Strange Volume 2. But like that. Or as some people are saying, Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yeah.
Or I would say Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Wanda. This whole thing is going to be about Elizabeth Olsen.
For the most part, yeah.
She's so lovely. So adorable.
We've waited how many years for this moment? 14?
Sure, we'll go with that.
We'll go with 14.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get into this, I do want to kind of recap a little bit here for the arrival of this movie. If you go back in the archives of this show,
we're still paying money for that?
No.
Okay.
There was a, we were talking about the releases after the Infinity Saga wrapped up, and they started releasing the names, the titles of the movies that were coming out, and I was like,
you were like Shang-Chi,
Eternals, Black Widow,
Multiverse of Madness,
ooh,
hey, giggity.
Because I said that, and then I think around that time they also announced that it would be directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now you have my attention. Yes. Because first of all, just the name itself, Multiverse of Madness. We already know.
Going on.
Yeah, you can already tell. There's going to be some shit hitting the fan on this one. Because by this point, the deal, I think, had already been done with Fox and Disney and everything else. So we're
in the House of Mouse now.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. All right, this is where it's going to get funky like a monkey. Mm-hmm. And we'll get there. Yes. But I said at the time that out of everything that was announced for Phase 4, this was the one thing that I was truly looking forward to. So the expectations for me were way up here. Everything else has been way down there. Yeah.
So now we get to this point.
Yeah.
Did Shang-Chi get you higher than a
I was on board with Shang-Chi.
Did Black Widow get you higher than a
That was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, because I didn't care about Black Widow at the time, and the movie was pretty decent. It wasn't great by any means, but it wasn't shitty.
Did the Eternals get you out from
Fuck no.
There's always one.
God, no. I always thought that, the Inhumans, MCU's never going to live that failure down.
Inhumans.
And Eternal said, hold my beer. And they just...
With the cast they had.
Everything about that movie sucked.
Oh,
Tell me one... We're not talking... No, we're not spending more time on Eternals. Okay, so... you're pointing at me. Okay, what?
Doctor Strange.
Was
it higher than a...
Woo! The one we're talking about right now?
Yes.
Okay, did this meet its expectations? I don't think so. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the movie, and I've heard other people say they did not enjoy the movie.
So is that a lateral? Ooh?
Yes.
It didn't meet your expectations, but it met expectations you didn't know you had.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint me.
There you go.
I'll say that.
Okay.
It did, maybe I put too much expectations, but at the same time, I was not living and dying by the rumors and so-and-so's giving me this movie.
45 different people are going to cameo 45 other people.
It's like, I'm still hungover from No Way Home, all right?
I think that was it for me.
Yeah.
Where, and obviously I'm going to be the black sheep. I haven't seen many Sam Raimi. Obviously, I'm dressed in black today.
No.
For our audio podcast. I've seen several, but not all of Sam Raimi stuff. So I know you're gonna get deep dive once we get into
not
that.
too much. There was some stuff I wanted to mention about him directing the movie, which some of the stuff that I noticed in the movie I really enjoyed. Just being it from him as a director.
There wasn't a lot of strange in No Way Home, but it felt like, well, I just saw you.
That's funny you say that, because I was thinking about that too. Like towards the end of the second viewing I did of Doctor Strange, I was just thinking I could use a break from, and I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I think he does an awesome job.
He's come around from the first Doctor Strange movie through the Avengers stuff to now. I think he's refined Doctor Strange as a character.
He's got that cadence of his delivery of his lines down pat. Like his humor is so dry and so subtle. It's
and the wit is sharp.
Yes,
at times.
yeah.
It was kind of dull in the beginning because you're
getting used to it.
In the beginning, we've been almost desensitized with Captain America, Thor, Iron Man because we saw them repeatedly. So when you see 3 movies of Captain, 3 movies of Thor, 3 movies of fucking Iron Man, and then we get, what the hell's the Doctor Strange doing here? It took us a while to get accustomed to it, and now I feel like everything's working on his end and not as a viewer's end. It's like, all right, somebody that hasn't I didn't think worn out is welcome. Maybe after the movie, I was like, all right, I need a break.
and when I said I could use a break from him, like I said, I don't think he's doing a bad job. I think he's doing a wonderful job. It's just, okay, let's take a pause on the multiverse stuff and the magical, mystical stuff, and and we're about to get that with the next movie, the Thor: Love and Thunder. So, which, God, I can't. I was surprised when I saw when the trailer dropped for Thor, a few weeks ago, and it said was it July or June or July or something like that. I was like, wow, shit, it's already coming out. Like I didn't realize it was already
that soon.
Yeah. So hey, great, because that was the next movie that I said could be really good, or they could do some stuff that could really. I was cautious. I remember I said I was cautiously optimistic about Thor. But hey, it's Taika, so and the trailer it was good so far. But we're not talking about Thor. We're talking about Doctor Strange. So, and later on at the end of this, we're gonna get into the
number crunchers.
Let's do that now. But
okay,
we'll wrap up by the reception of how it came out and everything. So right now, as of I was recording on May 16th, we're talking the domestic box office for Doctor Strange is $292 million.
Ooh.
292.6 million.
Okay.
International 396.2. For worldwide $688.8 million. And I believe that's
come a long way.
And I believe that is minus China. Yeah. Because
China didn't want to air it, I think.
Yeah, they're really strict about zombies and undead and stuff like that. That's why was it World War Z? They had to change up, which is weird because it's the whole movie, but they had to make some compromises here and there for that. But anyway, Disney was like, no, we're
sticking to our guns.
Yeah. So hey, more power to. And I think there was another interview where they said, where Disney came out and said, we're positive that we're confident that we can still be successful without going to China. I was like, okay.
And Russia too, right? Because of what's going on?
I would assume so, yes. Yeah. But I know China was the main thing. Yeah. Because China's always been the second... The needle mover, really, for a lot of stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, without getting off too much of a tangent, that was a trend in Hollywood that was starting to get annoying because you could see where they were... Yeah.
Why did this movie get greenlit? Ah, damn Chinaman.
Well, I didn't say that. Chris said that. But
but fiscally, in a nutshell,
yeah,
China's what got people into the black.
But you would automatically start seeing like random scenes in movies. I don't know, were taking place in China, or they have like Chinese branding here and there. And
Transformers, with the Dinobots, where
Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
The
Stanley Tucci was drinking out of the Japanese milk or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, the whole like third act of the movie was in China for that reason. You know, so this is one of those things where it's I'm glad to see that studios are starting to say, you know what, we're making these movies in America.
They're
we gotta
American
focus.
movies.
We gotta focus on us. You know?
A lot of the attraction overseas is they're watching an American film, not a film made in America, made for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It'd be funny if they started that with Shang-Chi.
We're not going to change it.
If
Shang-Chi is the one movie that sticks to the roots, to the Oriental roots, and it's just for them, we'll let them have it.
Yeah. So basically, so far, it's doing pretty good. Now,
just wait till summer when all the kids are out. So 2 or 3 more weeks.
Oh, by summertime, this thing will already be done over. I think because
you think so.
I think so.
Spider-Man was in the theater for months.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different because the tone of this movie, which is one of the things I did want to talk about, is it's different from any Marvel movie that we've had before. This one is diving into the horror aspect of movies. Horror. Aspect. Did I say horror?
Yeah, horror.
Yeah.
Those filthy horrors.
Yeah, that too. And I've seen just with people that I'm friends with on Facebook already. I've seen people turn away because they weren't expecting the. Look, if
Marvel's Phase 1 through Phase 3 has been at the most PG-13 with some of the stuff that Thanos was doing.
Yeah,
this is really pushing some boundaries to be like, well.
There's articles coming out that saying there's people disturbed by it, and they say that this should have been rated R.
Yeah.
Just from
and it's less of the language and more of just the visuals.
The visuals and a lot of the themes that they're
black magic, blackcraft,
exactly. Undead and all this other stuff. So I could see how they might have rubbed, especially for religious people. I mean, I could see how this might have rubbed some people the wrong way.
Quite the challenge would be making blackcraft for everyone to watch.
If you could do that, bravo.
There's a certain niche audience for that, but to make that a universal thing, maybe Raimi pulled it off with the numbers. And
it's good that you said that because it is when you start to get into horror, it is more of a niche audience that you're playing to, and that's the one thing that I'm not 100% sure about is the tone. Like, I think they're trying to be a horror movie, but they weren't, like, 100%. Like,
they had aspects, but they weren't going full 100 on it.
Right, that's what I got from it. It was like they're trying to dip their toes in the horror, but they didn't want to be horror.
It's like, it felt like they were coming up to the line, but they didn't want to cross it. I think the one that got my attention visually the most was the montage explaining how Wanda, Scarlet Witch, was doing the dream walking, and Mordo was doing, while Mordo was talking to America and Strange, they were doing the montage and the visuals of the pentagram on fire and all the candles and her floating. I was like, and then I'm looking around like, what the fuck?
It got really quiet.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments in there where you can hear a pin drop because you don't know how you're supposed to take it. This is again, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. All of a sudden, we're going to fucking let's hypnotize some motherfuckers.
So it's. I'm glad you mentioned the visuals of it because you mentioned Sam Raimi, and I talked about it earlier, but Sam Raimi, for those of you who don't know, he's kind of a cult classic, cult favorite director of horror movies. He's most well known, probably, now mainstream, for the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, that trilogy. But before that, he got his foot in the door by his horror movies, the Evil Dead series, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and the thing about, and he also did Darkman. It's another pretty good cult classic movie, which apparently they're about to make a sequel to it, or another reboot that franchise. But the thing was with Raimi is he has a very distinct style, and if you watch, not so much Evil Dead, but maybe Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, you see that style in full effect. And when I say style, like, he does certain visual camera trickery. Like certain things, like he'll if someone's moving in a certain way to show that they're like
contortionists,
something like that, where like it'll stop, stop, like that. Their joints. It looks like their joints are kind of.
The scene with Wanda coming out, where they were doing the reflections of the water, and then she came out from that gong-looking thing. Yes. That was awesome.
That was very Raimi, and I loved every second of that. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But like certain things where. I think you just mentioned it, where it was the montage scene where she's doing one thing, and it kind of the screen kind of fades out to black, and you see Wong's head like kind of popping in. He starts talking as other stuff's going on in the background. Those kind of fade into, those dissolves. That's strictly Raimi's right there. One thing I was kind of hoping to see, and they almost did it. There's one effect that he likes to do in The Evil Dead. In The Evil Dead, if you don't know, it's about like the evil spirit possesses innocent people, whatever, in this cabin, whatever. But the way he filmed it was, it's like from the point of view of the spirit. So it's like you're seeing it's like
almost like a drone shot going closer.
Almost,
into
yeah,
the
and
victim.
it's like it speeds up really fast, and you're like right up to the face of the person as they're possessing. You're like, what the. I thought we were gonna get that with when she was dreamwalking, and she was gonna go. I thought they were gonna do that with when she met up with Wanda in the other dimension, but.
Did they not do that with the snakes when Doctor Strange was having the snakes come out of his hand to fight Wanda when he found her? Wasn't it you were getting that angle from the snake's point of view?
Maybe, but that's not what it would have been though. So there's things like that I really got a kick out of being a fan of Raimi. And then of course there's some trademarks of his movies that it's damn near all of his movies. One of which being Bruce Campbell, which we got. So Bruce Campbell is in the movie. He has a little cameo. He's a pizza ball
in one of the
vendor.
multiverses.
And even then, he's about to start a fight with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange he does a little spell on him, he makes him start punching himself. That's straight off.
That's a bit.
That's a bit from Evil Dead, because his hand is possessed, and his hand's always fighting them. And the payoff of that is at the very end. If you stay till the very end of the credits,
you'll either be disappointed or very marking out for it.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead, stay till the end of the credits. If you're not, you can walk out. Yeah. There's that, and another thing that's a prominent fixture in his movies is the '73 Oldsmobile Delta 88. It's always in there. Like the yellow you saw in this one, it's like floating in the air.
Yeah,
it's in damn near all of his movies.
He almost got run over when he was crossing the street. Was it that scene?
No. It was just floating in the air. It was like when he goes into the universe. It's like falling upon itself.
Oh yeah.
He's walking down the street. There's the yellow car just kind of floating in. That's the Delta 88.
Gotcha.
It's in like on all his movies. It's the car that Uncle Ben drove in Spider-Man.
Yes.
So
now it looks more familiar.
Yeah, and it's the car that Bruce Campbell drove in Evil Dead to get to the cabin. So it's like it's a fixture.
It's like the Pizza Planet rocket in every Disney movie. Yeah.
There you go. I should have said that. Yeah. Make a more modern reference. Yeah. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to mention, besides it being Sam Raimi, the writer of the movie was Michael Waldron. Now he hasn't done a whole lot of stuff, but one thing that he has done was he was the head writer creator of the Loki series.
Ah, got you.
And I remember hearing that he was going to write Doctor Strange, and I was thinking, oh, okay. So by that time the Loki series had finished, and we're thinking, and that's when we knew that he was going to write the movie. And I was like, oh, so he's just going to, whatever we saw in Loki is going to continue in Doctor Strange. And that's why I was thinking, okay, all these shows are going to start linking up to this Doctor Strange movie. And not a whole lot of references, if any at all, to the Loki series.
Yeah.
Did you get it? I didn't get any references at all that were connected to Loki.
The only reference at all was the conversation at the season finale with Kang, where they're like, "I'm the least one that you need to worry about because there are other versions of me in other timelines that are not going to be as merciful."
You would think
so. That was like the seed that was planted that a multiverse exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Doctor Strange just watered it. And I'm guessing Ant-Man and Quantumania is going to be what's fruitful and grows out of it.
Well, yeah, it's already confirmed he's going to be the villain in that.
Yeah.
Or a villain in that movie. Yeah. But, I was just kind of, not perplexed, but I was just like, okay. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't meet all my expectations, is because I knew there was a writing connection between this series and the movie. And, yeah, like you said, he mentioned there's multiple versions of me, and in the show, Loki, they destroy the they killed the guy, so that freed up the multiverse or something. It's been a while since the show, but yeah,
it created another rift, another red line away from the regular
timeline,
so that's something that has to be snipped.
And then after Loki, we got the What If series, and the What If series is all about multiple versions. So I was thinking,
that's where Strange Supreme, right?
So yeah, that's another thing. A lot of people were thinking that the Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, spoiler alert by the way, the evil Doctor Strange in this movie was the same one that we saw in the What If series, but it's not. It's a totally different version.
Yeah,
because that one in What If is still around. He's just in a collapsed universe, protecting that little last vestige of whatever he had.
Yeah,
and that's it. He can't do anything. He's stuck, and he's like totally like mutated and got all these other creatures and everything. Well, I can't remember. He looked differently, but anyway, this is just they call this one in the movie Sinister Strange.
Gotcha.
So, but enough of that. 30 minutes into the show. So, getting into the movie itself. This movie, let's quickly kind of talk about the plot, basically, is Wanda, we saw her from WandaVision. In the end of WandaVision, we saw her in the little post-credit scene that she's
slipping through the dark hole.
Yeah. And you can see her. She's floating, and you can see all this. She's full on going. But here's the thing. When this movie started with her, I didn't think that she had gone that far. And I guess that's the idea. Like, I didn't think that she had been totally transformed by the Darkhold. Yeah. But anyway, this whole movie, the whole plot revolves around she found out there's a someone that has special power to travel between the multiverses. What she wants to do, and you gotta help me out here. What Wanda wants to do is go to another universe where her children actually exist. And when I say children, I mean the children from the WandaVision TV show.
That she created. From her mind.
So Wanda wants to go to find another version of her kids where she can just take them and have them for herself and be done with it. But, along the way, she's been corrupted by this book. And that's when Doctor Strange, that's his goal, is just to try to prevent her from taking this child and basically killing her for her power.
Yeah.
Right? Does that pretty much sums up?
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Okay.
Which brings me to probably my biggest red flag of a movie.
Okay. It might be mine too, but go ahead.
I understand completely the fact of the kids.
Yes.
But
say it.
I kind of feel like
say it.
One of her crowning moments in the universe so far was her almost handing Thanos his ass in Endgame.
Yes.
By herself.
Right.
And then understanding after Vision's loss in Endgame that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get WandaVision. Mm-hmm. I get it. It was a great little series.
Right.
She wanted the total package.
Right.
Which was the children and Vision.
Right.
And
a nice normal life.
Her bone of contention was I had to sacrifice Vision. I can't do anything about it. Mm-hmm. Yet the government made what I considered Cataract, which was their version of Vision that didn't need a stone.
Right.
So after the whole lesson learned in WandaVision, there's no fucking love for Viz. Like you want to bring the kids back, but you want to be a single mom in 2022 in this time and age with your powers, and no, Viz. Bring back Viz, white Viz, red Viz, black Viz, yellow Viz, Mex Viz.
I'm sorry,
Asian Viz. It doesn't matter. That's the total package that she had in the series.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You people could not see.
You
could not get a visual of when Chris was talking to us. Now he had his hand on his hip and shaking his head side to side.
Now I'm curious what Mex Viz looks like. Does he have like the twirly mustache, and is that also red?
No, he's got a sombrero.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. No, I know.
But where's the attention for Viz?
I totally agree, and I was thinking about that too. It's like it's like she didn't like learn anything, or nothing was accomplished in WandaVision to say, okay, this is bad what I'm doing. Because she even said at the beginning, I made mistakes. People are hurt. I made mistakes. Whatever. But by that token, she just does the same thing over again, except 10 times worse than what she did last time. And I was thinking about that halfway through the movie. It's like, wait a minute, she's willing to like kill this girl. go through all these multiverses and destroy Kamatage, and just wipe out everybody. But yet she's not even gonna go to a universe where Vision is still around.
Yeah.
Like what the or find the white Vision that was floating around. Where is he? God damn it, that's bugging me.
That it's definitely not a slight. It's a compliment that I still want to see more Paul Bettany in this story. Yeah, because the two people that I thought would have the least charisma between them on cinema, and Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen's characters, I wanted to. And then after WandaVision gave me that tease, I was like, man, give me more of this. So when I heard that this was going to be like one of the threads in Multiverse of Madness, I was expecting the storyline was something involving finding Viz and having this thing together. And the fact that she, for all intents and purposes, very few people will get this.
Oh, Lord.
She turned heel on us so fast in this movie.
She went evil.
After everything she did in this story, I understand there's comic book versions that this is exactly what happened.
Right.
But I wasn't ready for it, you know?
Because it's too soon?
Yeah.
Like the very first scene that we see her in. And I do like...
If that was maybe 30 minutes later, like she's helping him look for her.
Yeah.
And then slowly the hex starts... You see little pieces of the hex starting to disarray. And then maybe halfway the MacGuffin is, oh shit, Wanda wants this girl.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got it. But it was too fucking smooth.
So on that note, I wonder if... Because this movie's only like 2 hours. It's 2 hours 6 minutes, but then credits and all that shit. And I wonder if maybe they didn't have faith in it, or they purposely cut it shorter so they can have more showings to get more money for showtimes. Yeah. But this is weird that for a Marvel movie, normally they're like 2.5, 2:45, you know. And it starts off really fast. Like you don't know it when you watch it the first time. You see another alternate version of Doctor Strange running with America Chavez.
If you're walking into the theater to find your seat the moment this movie starts, you'll feel like you lost 10 or 15 minutes of this movie already.
Yeah.
You have no idea that the movie just started with Mexican Strange and America Chavez running through the whatever in between the multiverses.
Point, or what is the Nexus point or something? Whatever they called it.
Whatever. It's almost like a purgatory.
Almost.
But that's in that purgatory is where you find the Book of Ashanti and you're already going. You're already going.
And to a certain point of that, I appreciate that. Like, no...
I don't need 20 more minutes of telling me how Spider-Man's parents died. Uncle Ben died. Just get to it.
And they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Almost too fast. Because, again, space out the Wanda turn a little bit. You know?
Yeah. But it was that scene that... It's like the second or third scene of the movie where Doctor Strange goes to Wanda to talk to her and everything, and it's a nice, pleasant feel. It's like where she was at the end of WandaVision. She's in the open field or whatever. There's trees everywhere, and she's just clipping whatever she's clipping. And he's talking to her, and she says, "I made mistakes, blah blah blah." And then he tells her, "Hey, look, I have this girl. She can travel, blah blah blah. Can you just come here can you come with me so we can look after her?"
I don't know, man. When you do this kind of thing, you get praised for it. I do this kind of thing. Y'all trying to kill me.
That happened later when she was like drunk. But this one was. I love the reveal because he was kind of going along with it, and then she didn't mention, well, why can't America come here? And he's like, he just kind of stopped walking.
You didn't tell me her name, did you?
I love that whole how they both got it, and she even said, the hexes are easy, the line is the hard part, and she just kind of takes down the facade of. I didn't understand the red sky, because was it like red all over? Because like the whole sky and everything was red. I can understand if like the trees were dead and everything, but right,
it's scarlet for a reason.
I guess. But anyway, so that was... It's just such a jerk reaction of, hey, these are teammates, and now she's literally threatening him to bring the child, or she's going to come get the child, and, you're getting my way, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was... especially if you're a fan of Wanda, you don't want to see her be evil.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you like the bad girl.
Not to be that guy. If Marvel's attempt, or if Disney's attempt, is to try to get girls to grow up into this huge-ass story that they've laid 14 years in, you want to have some female superheroes that actually thrive and survive in this story. Mm-hmm. And to have another one just like, I want what I want, and I'm going to just get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the villain, the villain aspect you didn't.
The villain aspect I didn't, because again, I understand that we're still going through this chain of command, but this is Doctor Strange's second movie.
Right.
Where did we leave off in the first Doctor Strange movie? Baron Mordo wants his revenge.
Yes.
And so we get into Strange in this new multiverse that he arrives in, and he's like, "Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna have to cut this motherfucker." And then Mordo's like, "What's up, my brother?" And then I was like, "Okay, is this a tease for something later?" And I was expecting Mordo to finally have his moment as like the villain to Strange.
But that's the thing, though. That's not the Mordo that was in the last movie. So in this particular case, we still don't know where Mordo's at in this movie.
But even then, in the scene that they start fighting, that felt like a second act building to a third act that was Strange versus Mordo, all out. One has to walk, one has to go.
Well, they left it open,
yeah,
for sure. But anyway, okay, so we mentioned, so you talked about the end of, leaving off from the end of Doctor Strange. Mordo's not here. Mm-hmm. We get a little bit of Christine that we know.
Yeah, that we know.
And then, of all fucking references, like the Dr. West guy from the first, I had no fucking idea who that was. Like, really? I'm supposed to give a shit about this guy? I had no idea who. And he's over here talking about,
my cats.
Yeah. I'm fine, thank you. I lost.
Thank you for asking.
I was like, who are you? Like, I didn't. So, and here's another thing about that wedding scene, which really kind of threw me off. I was like, when did Doctor Strange become a celebrity? Like, when did people start knowing he saved the world against Thanos and all them? Like, he's like a celebrity. Like, he's doing magic tricks. Like, he's turning water into wine and everything. And then when the shit goes down on the street, he's like, okay, here we go. And then he puts the cape on and everybody's, he gets their phones out there. When did this happen?
It wasn't explained. I'm thinking at this point, after Spider-Man, well, even through the Spider-Man movie, people already know about the whole Thanos incident.
But he's out. Nobody says anything to him. Like, nobody says, "Hey, look, Doctor Strange gonna."
In the restaurant, when he's talking to America, the one chick out of everybody else, the one little girl, or the
Can I get my picture? No. Okay, so the supporting cast, I was kind of shocked, really, because I wasn't expecting. There's been so much stuff that's happened since Doctor Strange, and he's been in so many other movies and everything. I was thinking we're not going to get any kind of other cast members from Doctor Strange, because really, who gives a shit? Yeah. All we care about is Doctor Strange. We don't care about a supporting cast. And then the Dr. West guy, and then Christine, but no Mordo or no other references. I was like, okay, I guess.
We're starting off new.
I guess, but do we care? That's the thing, and I really, I'm glad that didn't last very long in that whole wedding situation. We got the ball rolling. We got, you want to say it?
Am I supposed to, because they couldn't get the licensing, or they lost the licensing? But I don't care what the Lego box says. I know it was Shumagorath.
What was it?
Shumagorath.
Shumagorath.
Yeah.
Or how do they call it?
Gargantos or something like that. Garganton or something.
Yeah, big. What would you call it? Like an octopus?
It looks like an octopus.
So let me ask you this, because I had immediate flashback to Suicide Squad when I was watching this.
That was the Starro?
It's like they said, in Suicide Squad, it's like, look, okay, we'll see your Starro with a spear through the eye, and we'll raise you
Shuma. with a light pole.
With a light pole, and we're gonna pop that son of a bitch out. That part got me. I was like, okay, here we go. This is the kind of movie we're gonna get now. Did you like the eyeball popping out? Yeah,
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I've played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 quite a while, and I've never beaten anybody like him like that.
Yeah. So I think we kind of mentioned it earlier, but America Chavez. Yes. Any thoughts on that character?
For what it's worth, I thought Xochitl Gomez did a good job with the character. How
do you pronounce her name? I'm white, so I don't know.
Sochi,
because
that's her first name.
It's like
XOCHITEL.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still never gonna be able to pronounce.
I haven't read the comics, so if she's a extension of Captain America with that same star that's on Captain America's shield, it's a 30-second reference or some explanation, or maybe down the road, just to know this is a kid, so she had to have looked up to a 75-year-old superhero.
Yeah, and I remember I was talking earlier about times being cut and everything. Maybe it edited down. I think that might have been something that hit the cutting room floor, because there's no characterization for her other than her power.
She played Fatal Fury and Terry Bogard.
Would she be the MacGuffin in this? I guess her power's a MacGuffin.
Yeah,
because everybody's trying to get it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the comics, she's a fan of Captain America. That's why she's got the star on the back.
Got you.
But it's convenient that her power is a star shape. And of course and before I say anything else, I do want to say I did enjoy her as a character. The actress, I think she did fine for her role. What she was supposed to be, I thought she did a fine job.
Yeah. It's hard to be too critical of young performances first time out in a franchise when you got to get a feeling.
Those are big shoes to go into with a 12 or 13 year franchise, 28 fucking movies.
At least 10 more in the pipe.
Yeah, and then and not only that, but it's a movie that has been anticipated. People have been waiting for. So I thought she did good. And this is where I wish we could just unplug social media, because there's a lot of before and after, right? Before it was, God, they're gonna throw her sexuality, her gender, her two moms, and then after the movie, it was like, well, she wasn't ethnic enough, and I've heard that, and the thing is there's only one thing, and there's that one scene where it's like memory lane, and she sees her mom.
The first time she used her power, and she teleported both of her moms.
So I'm going to say something, and I'm not going to say this like directed towards the character what they're trying to say. I'm just going to say that I think I could have done without the whole scene, only because it didn't go anywhere. It didn't advance the story of her, or it stopped the movie. Because
the only devil's advocate, the way Disney's going, that 30 seconds could be like the beta for her 6-episode run on Disney Plus to find her mom.
Yeah, true.
And that makes content.
If that's the case.
The case.
Yeah. But my thing is, in the placement of the movie, they just go into the new world. As a viewer, I'm like, show me this universe we're in, right? I don't give a shit about anything else right now.
The memory lane gimmick I thought was pretty unique.
It was unique, but I didn't like it, and I can go into detail, but I'm not going to.
Lazy booking?
A little bit. And the thing is, like, from the time they go to that spot where they see the memories, and from his memories and her memories to the next scene where they kind of talk about it a little bit, you could take the whole thing out, and it's not going to make a flippant difference in the movie. Mm-hmm. Really, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It feels like it was just like
if no fruit is born from that, I could see that you should be like, you know what? I'd rather have. In that case, if they're not going to use this to further to elaborate America's storyline later on, just like Ms. Marvel's for kids, for young girls, if this happens to be with America, if that doesn't further that story, then in that moment, I would have rather had the 30 seconds of, oh man, Captain America, he's done so much for me. This is why I am who I am.
Yeah,
that would have made a lot more if they're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah,
but that scene alone. It didn't break it for me at all. Let alone
it didn't break it for me, but
let alone I don't get in the movie why so many people are angry and upset about because two moms or whatever and blah blah blah. I was like, oh come on, or her being a.
The only thing about that was about the two moms thing is there was another thing other than China. Was it Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
They were telling Marvel or Disney to cut that 15 seconds out or whatever.
And they said no.
Yeah. We'll lose the money. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't. To me, it felt forced a little bit. It's like it didn't need to be in there. And I'll go ahead and tell you why I didn't like the memory lane stuff. Okay, do you want to know why?
I'm curious. Yeah,
it's a memory it's called memory lane, but it's a deck you step on, and it scans your brain or whatever, and it sees your memories. The memories weren't in first person. They weren't in first.
That's a very unique take. I can see that.
It bugged the hell out of me.
You're supposed to see it. Like, it's supposed to be from your point of view.
It's like
that's the Sam Raimi-ism that you could have gotten. If it would have been from his point of view, and Sam Raimi could have dolled it up the way he would.
I mean, any competent director could have said, hey, let's do it from the point of view of the person that we're seeing the memories from.
Yeah.
But no, it was like
makes sense.
It's like there was a camera like filming their memories, right? So, why are we talking about this? Okay, so let's get into the real nitty-gritty. The Illuminati.
The Illuminati?
The Illuminati?
The Illuminati?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Illuminati, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
That was the thing. Okay, so going into this movie, the trailer, it was hinted about, right? It was not hinted. It was rumored that the Illuminati were going to be in this movie, right? And even the last trailer, they finally announced it in the final trailer. where Mordo says
The Illuminati.
Yeah. So everybody started freaking out. Matter of fact, the first showing that I went to, I don't know if in your theater is the same, but mine, as soon as he said the Illuminati will see you, everybody was like, woo, and everybody started.
No, not my first showing.
No? It wasn't like this, but this first showing for me, people started clapping.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. A couple smatters here and there.
That was my other biggest gripe, and it has nothing to do with the movie. I've made this complaint several times on this episode. It's in the archives. I cannot stand commercials or advertising, magazines, online articles giving away so much of the movie.
Yeah.
I would have shat my fucking pants to see fucking the wheelchair from X-Men animated.
We'll talk about it in a second. So,
it's just like, oh man, did you have to give that too? Fuck, man. Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that was spoiled, and this will go. We'll go into more in this here after we talk.
And
about
it wasn't, and it isn't so much. It was my fault because I got on Facebook. This wasn't on This was on fucking CNN.
Yeah.
Through Entertainment Weekly or Entertainment Tonight or whatever. It was like these leaks were in places I wasn't expecting leaks to be had.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I couldn't even win if I tried.
Well, Chris, that's what you get for reading, okay?
I guess. If I took my glasses off and saw everything blurry, I would have probably been fine.
Yeah. That was one of the issues. Not issues, but maybe that's why my level of expectation was kind of lowered after the movie, because I kind of everything that was revealed in the movie,
you knew.
I kind of knew. Now, hold on. I wasn't 100% confirmed on, but I'd seen enough peripheral of hey, this could be happening, this could be happening, this could be happening. This guy's in here, this guy's in here, this guy's in here. Yeah. But I was trying to say, okay, these are just rumors. Nothing's to me. I was trying to stay away as well too, but that final trailer, it kind of, and I wish they didn't do that. But I guess again,
you're a Marvel movie in a 26 movie deep cinematic universe. You're gonna make fucking money. Save some surprises.
It's the same issue I had with Civil War.
Yes,
when they announced Spider-Man
Spidey at the very end, like the week of the movie. Fucking, they sold fucking 100 million tickets before the thing even showed on the screen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just let the surprises be. So let's get into the Illuminati. You gotta say it like that too, the Illuminati.
You have to do your hands and everything.
Yeah, I am. It's a visual gag, but there's no cameras. So, okay, so Mordo, by the way, what do you think of the Ultron sentries?
It was a nice little touch. Since their multiverses, anything goes. You don't know what's... So
we had, Doctor Strange. He was basically captured by Mordo, and he was taken into the Illuminati, surrounded by the Ultron sentries and everything. Yeah. So he says, we're going to introduce you to the Illuminati one by one. So we have Captain Carter.
Yes.
So Haley,
with the Britain shield and everything, they just didn't want to call her Captain Britain. They just called her Captain Carter.
And they better not either, because that's going to ruin if they actually bring in what's his face, the actual Captain Britain. But actually, I got ahead of myself. The first one was Black Bolt.
The original actor from the Inhuman series that was on ABC.
Anton Mount. Yeah. Or Anson Mount. Anson Mount. The guy that played Black Bolt in the series, and I kind of dug. I got a chuckle that they actually used his full name. What did it say? It was a Blackagar Boltagun. Yeah. So I thought that's straight out of the comics, and if you're not paying attention, you get kind of what did he say? That's Black Bolt, right? Yeah. But the cool thing is he's actually in his full Inhuman costume, tuning fork and all on his little forehead.
Other than a couple grays in the beard, he looked like he just came out of the show 6 years ago.
Well, only that, he looked like he's pulled from the comics. Yeah, which is great. So we had him. We had Haley Atwell as Captain Carter, which apparently this was a different version from the What If, which I don't know. It's all the same to me, right? Yeah. From there we have they say Captain Marvel, so you're thinking in your head Carol Danvers, Brie. What's her fuck? Anyway, but
Brie Larson.
So her, whatever. So, but they turn the camera and it's Maria Rambeau from Captain Marvel. So I guess in this universe,
she's the actual.
Yeah. So she got the powers instead of Carol Danvers, which good for her. And then we get and lastly the world's smartest man, Reed Richards, and he comes in like a full like teleport. That's dude. If you don't know from the comics, that's like straight up like Doctor Doom tech. So
it looks familiar. Doctor Doom has that entrance in a couple video games.
Yeah, he would do that in the video games and I think in the cartoons and stuff. But yeah, that was a thing that you just kind of teleport in. But yeah, and we have John Krasinski as. Dude, this is all like fans. Like this whole scene
fan fiction
is all like fan service. Like they're basically like.
What'd you think of John?
He did a good job.
Do you see him anchoring the franchise if they go with him, or is it too on the nose? Because we already had him.
That's the thing.
Because he's already in this multiverse, so it doesn't work.
That's the thing. This is such a moment of fan service of stunt casting, basically. Putting him in the role of Reed Richards, was this a one-off, or was
this the test?
Was it a test? Is he actually going to be the Mr. Fantastic of the actual, the real Fantastic Four? Because as we're going to find out here in a second, these are clearly disposable versions of these characters. But no, I thought I wanted to see more of him.
He came off a little arrogant. But if that's because he's from a different universe, I'm expecting the Reed Richards in our time in 616 to be the humble nerd that we've seen him in the fantastic movies and cartoons and stuff.
He might have been in a commercial or two.
Maybe, yeah.
But
does that thing have a Hemi?
You know, the thing is with him playing Reed Richards, because if y'all don't know, there's fan casting has been going on for years, ever since the Fantastic Four was announced that they were going to be making a movie. They were like, okay, this guy needs to be him, and Emily Blunt, his real wife, needs to be Invisible Woman. That's how that's how they wanted. That's how the fans have been casting the Fantastic Four so far.
Emily Blunt is Invisible Woman. Wow.
Yeah. So, and they're saying, well, he can even direct because he directed The Quiet Place 1 and 2. So
you know, 3's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they make a good team. He can direct, he can act, and if you don't know, the original director of the Fantastic Four movie, which was John Watts, who did all 3 Spider-Man movies for Marvel, he just walked, so he's out, which kind of sucks because I liked his movies. I like the Spider-Man movies,
but it's self-contained. They can handle everything in their own little family bubble.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, well, John Krasinski can direct. Maybe that was an opening. Maybe that was all planned. It's like, say, we really want him to direct, or whatever the case would be. Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know the full details, obviously, but you never know. It's like I like how nothing's confirmed yet, but this was just them dipping their toes in the pool a little bit and seeing how it played out. I enjoyed it. I liked the costume. I liked the look of him as Reed Richards.
Gruffy almost, because he had the beard and the goatee. Yeah. As opposed to the Reed Richards that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, he's usually clean shaven, but even in the comics, in the
newer comics,
in the newer comics, they draw him like John Krasinski in the comics. That's how powerful this fan casting has gone. Yeah. But of course, the final member of the Illuminati is. We got the theme music. We got the X-Men theme. We see the little yellow chair coming through.
Hovering out.
Yeah. And then it turns around. It's Patrick Stewart, Professor X. It's like straight up 90s X-Men animated series. The yellow chair, hover chair. He's got the green suit and the tie with the black and blue stripes, just like the cartoon.
Yeah.
I got that. I saw what they're doing there. And the coolest part I thought was he uses powers. You can see the
brainwaves.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. That's good. That's good. He doesn't look stupid like, McAvoy. He's just like putting his hands on his forehead. I know what you're thinking. Do you? I don't know because I can't see any wavy lines coming out of your head. So, do you want to go and talk about what happened to the Illuminati?
I kind of want to try to settle something in my head real quick because I've said this before in other leading up to these movies in the continuum. If we've had this timeline, this multiverse where all of these existed, it just sucks it took so long for this to get here because we could have had X-Men a whole lot sooner.
Yeah,
we could have had Fantastic Four in this universe a whole lot sooner, and watching it the second time, I was able to just let that go.
Yeah.
That this is the way the story is. It's no different in the 50s when kids were reading these comics, and then 5 years later, oh, why weren't the X-Men here in the beginning when I was reading this book of such and such?
No, kids didn't think about that when they were reading comics back in the day because there was no
continuity.
There was no continuity between different. Marvel did it with Avengers, but it wasn't as connected
or consistent.
Yeah. It didn't get like that until like the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
But even then, it's... Yeah, I see what you're saying. It just kind of sucked that we had to wait 12 years for something like this to happen. Yeah. My question I'm trying to piece together is, how are they really going to introduce him into RU? And Marvel... Feige is like really like dragging us along with this tease of... Yeah. Of, hey...
We have a candy trail. Here's a couple, and then you keep following me.
We have the characters. More. Here they are. What do you think?
Where are the rest of them? Where's Wolvie?
Yeah. I thought we were going to get a Wolverine in this movie.
I thought so, too.
To see him get destroyed by Scarlet Witch. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine them bringing in Hugh Jackman and just to be, like, obliterated? Like
cut in half, but he's still alive because, he doesn't die. Apparently,
She would have had to rip the...
She would have exploded him from the inside.
No.
But then the deleted scene would be after the credits, he's like pulling himself back together.
No, she would have had to pull the adamantium out of his system.
But he still has the healing power regardless of the adamantium.
True.
And then we'd get Bone Claw Wolverine.
Got that already. Got that in Days of Future Past.
That doesn't count. Yeah. That's what I was I think that was the expectation that I had that got kind of collapsed during the movie.
What, Wolverine?
I was expecting the multiverse to bring back, or not to bring back, but kind of like jump into scenes from the other movies to connect everything into one nice package. So even though they weren't in the Avengers or weren't in Civil War or weren't in all these other problems that all the other heroes were having, they did exist in that timeline doing other stuff. Yeah. And that's what I was expecting.
So there was, and I agree with that too. And I think that's where some of the expectations had collapsed upon everybody. Was we were expecting to see like full on like X-Men cast coming in and Fantastic Four coming in, and we didn't get any of that. And I'm okay with that because
if you're saving it for something better later,
yes, and because this isn't in our reality, this is another total universe. So, but did you catch something? I'm just trying to remember or figure out what Strange said when he met Reed Richards. He said, "Weren't y'all chartered in the '60s?" Or something?
Yeah. Like, it's Strange. No, Strange threw that punchline to Reed Richards about. I'm guessing that's from the comics. Yeah. That when they were they first introduced in the '60s and they were all the big deal then.
Yeah, but how would he even know to make that joke?
It's an inside joke for the hardcore stuff. Like in the earlier before Wanda showed herself as Scarlet Witch, he was like Strange was like, "Come help me, I'll get you put back on the lunchbox."
Yeah,
old stuff that hardcore diehard fans would get that wouldn't necessarily. If someone's casual, it go over their head. They don't lose anything.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really bother me. But I'm just saying, like he wasn't surprised to see Reed Richards or anything like that. He just says, "Hey, weren't you chartered in the '60s?"
Yeah,
I was like, that was a weird thing to say. I don't know. It's just does he
maybe
know
something else from the
does he
cutting
know
room
of
floor
them
from another movie?
My thing is, does he know of them? Like, because he made a reference of a timeline.
Again, 30 seconds during Endgame when he went through all the possibilities of winning, he could have seen him. Coulda. Hey, again, that's just a 30-second explanation in the B-roll or in the bonus footage on the Blu-ray 3D, whatever. And it might be out there somewhere. We might see it.
Speaking of Endgame, what do you think of their alternate version of Endgame?
Oh, where they all beat Thanos?
Where you see Thanos' body laying out with the Infinity Gauntlet still on him, and Doctor Strange is part of the story is this version's Doctor Strange used the Darkhold to
black magic to try to stop Thanos, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, did it work?
No, it didn't work. He tried doing more of that instead of fighting Thanos.
Oh, well, that's how they.
That's why they killed him.
Oh,
together they beat Thanos, but in the build-up, he was doing something. He wasn't supposed to. You're not supposed to touch Darkhold.
Yeah,
it's evil.
Right.
He thought that would help, and because he disobeyed the whole Illuminati, that's why they got rid of him.
The Illuminati. So, but that was a cool little scene that Professor X showed us, where Black Bolt just walked up to him and just, I'm sorry, boom,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So during this whole thing of the Illuminati and all that, Scarlet Witch or Wanda, she
dreamwalked into the Wanda in their universe.
Yeah.
And she found out where they were. Yeah. And she was out for revenge.
She basically, dreamwalk is basically she possessed the body of the Wanda in this universe. Mm-hmm. And she tracked down where the Illuminati is. And that's where shit goes down.
Yeah.
Because she breaks in, she wipes out all the Ultron sentries and everything. And Illuminati's like, we can stop
handle
her.
Your witch. It's a fucking witch.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
They were so confident Reed gave Wanda the information to kill Black Bolt. And sure enough, Black Bolt was gone in like 5 seconds.
So once... Okay, so because they all... By the way, real quick, before we get into that...
Reed's death was awesome looking.
Hold on. So, okay, Wanda goes in there, and the Illuminati goes down a level, right, to fight her. Did you see the effect of Reed Richards? Like the way he stretched down?
Yeah.
That by itself is already better than what I've seen in other...
Fantastic Four movies?
Right?
Yeah.
Because it looked simplistic, and it didn't look phony.
It was 2005. Technology is from 2005 and all that, compared to now.
Chris, just agree with me.
Sure, I agree with
you. Thank you. But from there, again, they're being cocky and everything. They're hubris, I guess. Yeah. He says, Black Bolt can wipe you out just by opening his mouth, bitch. And
what mouth?
And she's like, what mouth? And we kind of pan down to his face and he has no mouth. And then the dumbass like, his head just implodes.
And then she filled up Reed Richards with so much stretchable power that he stretched him out to oblivion.
No, she turned him into spaghetti.
And then pop.
So, but what I was going to say was, right when that thing happened with Black Bolt, I immediately thought of X-Force. From Deadpool. I was like, okay. As soon as he died, I was like, okay, they're all going to die.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there goes, Mr. Fantastic getting Play-Doh'd out into spaghetti.
Yeah.
And then, now I do like how it was Captain Carter and Captain Marvel that, like, they both were, like, taking her down, like, just about. But then we get the shield.
Decapitating.
Yeah. Dismembering, I guess. Like, cut her in half, basically. Yeah. Because she threw her shield at her and she just like caught it and threw it back at her.
Captain Marvel's death,
yeah,
crushed by the statue.
Yeah. After a person's head implodes, one guy gets turned into spaghetti, one gets cut in half.
That's a fight I was expecting to last a little longer because both of them are each are infused with a certain gem. Right. So that should have lasted a little bit longer than it did.
Yeah, I agree.
But
do you think that showed that she was too powerful?
A little.
Or does that go? Does that, I guess, fall in the line of what we've been being told in this movie? So she makes. She goes past all them. She's trying to get to America Chavez, who's locked up in Christine, their version of Christine. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, we got an info dump from Christine because she's like a big lab technician or whatever. So she says that this is Earth 838, and we've designated your Earth as 616 because she researches multiverses and all this other stuff. But yet we just got Mysterio just saying that out of his ass in like one movie. Like, oh yeah, this is Earth 616, blah, blah, blah. And it was a script that he had from one of his whoever. Yeah. So, like, was it a coincidence or just somebody knows something that we don't know yet? I don't know, right? It's kind of
well,
weird.
The whole Mysterio storyline, how he became Mysterio, that went back a shit ton of movies to get to where they got. So if we get later on a villain or Mysterio comes back, it's like, I knew all along, or whoever takes up the Mysterio mantle, because the tech still exists. I knew all along.
Another Mysterio from another universe will come in.
That too. Lazy boogie.
So, and that's the thing. We'll get into that later, but about the multiverse. But so Wanda's coming in. She's about to get America Chavez, and then Professor X wheels in or hovers in or whatever, and so he goes into her mind. This is the he says, okay, so he sees Wanda under this rubble in her mind, right? And he's trying to free her, and you see all this red smoke coming in, and then she just kind of sneaks up, and in the mind she snaps his neck, but in real life.
His neck snapped too. Yeah.
And it snapped.
Yeah.
And then ugly. There you go. How'd that make you feel?
Once I saw that they were dying off, I was like, he ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
All he's got is brain.
This old man, he ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised they didn't they didn't try to de-age Patrick Stewart any.
Well, it's a multiverse. You can have him old if you want.
Yeah, true. So I forget how she gets. She was that whole Professor X thing was a distraction for Chavez and Christine to go, and they meet up with Strange, and they go out and they go through the door and they get to that book, the book of Shanti. We've been waiting for this whole movie to get to, and it gets destroyed in like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
useless the whole time. So Scarlet Witch throws.
I like the little touch that they had in that moment, because when the book gets destroyed, the pages disintegrate in the shape of a star.
Oh,
that was that was the answer. That America Chavez was the answer, and Strange figured that out without having to read the book.
Did you read that somewhere?
No, I noticed it in the second showing.
I think you read that somewhere.
I noticed it in the second showing.
Okay, well, I guess I'll take your word for it. So anyway, so Scarlet Witch, she grabs America Chavez and does the little hand thing, and which I think that was a callback to like Age of Ultron when she would do that to the Avengers, right? So anyway, she made her open up a portal, and she tossed Strange and Christine into one, and then she opened another portal to our world, and she threw her in there so her self can get America, and then she shut the portal. Anyway, so if you get all that, okay. So
congratulations.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange is now in this decrepit universe where it's fallen. Two universes fell into each other.
An incursion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they run. Long story short, they run into that version, Doctor Strange.
Trying to find that Strange.
Yeah, and then this is Sinister Strange because he's been holding the Darkhold this whole time.
Yeah.
In this universe, he used it willingly, and that's why he's corrupted and all this other stuff. And he gets the third eye, right? And we'll see that later, which is confusing. But so anyway, they have a big old fight and everything, and then this is where
the musical fight.
Okay, what? Okay. I know he's the master of the mystic arts and everything, but did the music notes do anything for you?
No. What was that Nintendo Wii game that you're playing musical notes and you're swinging the Wiimote back and forth?
Oh, what was that?
That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah. I'd say this. My wife hated that.
You got two guys, masters of the mystic arts, and that's your battle? That's your battle?
Yeah.
Again, Mordo or musical notes?
But you're a music guy, right? Yeah, that didn't hit you? No, didn't do anything for you?
No.
Yeah, me neither. And I get what they're doing with the da-da-dun, da-da-dun-dun, and there's, I get it.
I thought that was a Sam Raimi thing.
Oh, no, but speaking of, there's moments in the score that I really enjoy. Like, anytime, going back to the horror aspects of it, like, anytime that we would see, like, Scarlet Witch pop up, the ding, the piano strikes, when you look up, you see the red eyes and everything.
When they're going through the tunnels underneath the river, and they have the one wall to close it, and then they hear something going on, and then out of nowhere, ding, and she slides in through slides in on the front, and
yeah. So there was and that felt more like almost like a James Wan type of thing with like Insidious and things like that, where they do the piano ding and like something like
the one note.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes. Because there's that one where she got possessed originally by her, and she like looks up in the reflection of the bathroom mirror or the bathroom window, or the kitchen mirror. Kitchen window is what I'm trying to say. Fuck. But you see the red eyes, and that red eye effect. Yeah, with the dark scene and everything, the dark lighting, and all you see is red glowing eyes. Yeah, that was some pretty cool shit. But the music to go along with it set the tone for what they're trying to do. So Sinister Strange gets conquered. Yeah. Doctor Strange has to resort to his lesser of two evils, which is, fuck it, I'm gonna read the Darkhold and I'm gonna fight fire with fire. Yeah. And the corpse from that America originally brought in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Doctor Strange resurrects that Death Strange to life, and he uses that to travel to where Wanda Corps is at, where they are, and the final battle ensues. Did it feel like a letdown for the final battle?
I think America's lack of action felt a little bit disappointing.
Because she was tied up, right? She was on the.
Yeah, she was levitated. That Wanda was about to start pulling her power. I felt like there could have been a longer battle between America and Wanda. But Strange and Wanda's battle was alright. Seeing Strange with all the tentacle arms from all the zombie and everything.
Yeah.
I think that was an awesome visual. Another one that I think could have been saved for the actual movie instead of seeing it in every fucking commercial.
Oh, that was another kind of Sam Raimi thing. When she opened up Strange's, like, she opened up Strange's eye and the little spirit came out and it started shooting out. And then we see them all circle around and that little high-pitched voice that they use, that felt very kind of Sam Raimi Evil Dead-ish to me as well too. But I like how they all kind of, all the spirits kind of, he ended up controlling them and they all like formed a big cape. Right? I think that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then he flew over to where the temple was. Yeah. And I don't know, and that's where we see, like, they're the one shot in the commercials where we see him doing the thing and the other arms were coming out and everything. Yeah. You know, that's another thing about this movie. I think where expectations have fell on a lot of people because the imagery that they were using in the commercials, it made you think that it was something different. Yeah. Like there was a shot, I think it was under the tunnels where she's kind of like her limping. She can't walk right, and she's moving everything out with her arms, and she's got the red eyes, and it looks like there's blood all over her face and everything, which is actually oil from the robots. But it looks like almost like a zombie, right? So I know I for a second thought just from the trailers that was going to be zombie, like what we saw in What If, because at the time I was thinking all the shows from the Disney Plus shows were going to be integrated into this, which it wasn't, and that might be another issue that a lot of people had with this. But anyway, so there's no zombie versions of anybody other than the Doctor Strange, which was really just the same Doctor Strange we saw at the beginning of the movie, which was just come back to life because he possessed that one body. Yeah. So it wasn't anything from another universe or anything. It was still, we only got Multiverse of Madness was only 3 universes?
Yeah. Apparently, America, the movie said that there were 73.
Well, she's been to
73. Yeah. 74 with the new one that they had just been on.
Yeah.
And they had only
real quick, what do you think of that scene where they're traveling through all the multiverses and like the scenes are all changing and
did you notice one of them in particular?
I saw a lot of them. There's one they turn into cartoons. One they turn into paint.
One that she's like, you don't want to go to the pink one. The one there was one specifically that turned into cartoons, and it was the Spider-Verse animation. Oh, so the rumor has it. Again, I'm perpetuating the stuff I hate, but the rumor has it is that the part 3 of Into the Spider-Verse is going to involve actual live action Spider-Man.
There was one thing. One of my immediate thoughts after that scene is I told myself, I bet you there's so many Easter eggs. Once this comes out the video and you can pause it. And,
you know which scene I'm looking at first? The very early in the movie, in the wedding, where Strange and the girl are talking. There's a clear shot across the wedding hall to like staircases and people walking back and forth. And I'm like thinking, this would be a perfect time to fuck with people and just have Deadpool walk around, just like that, or a cameo that you wouldn't expect happen just because it's random, and that's you see random stuff like that, like the Oswald cartoon during the end when Wanda finally.
So were you disappointed that Deadpool wasn't in the movie? Because apparently everybody was wanting Deadpool to show up.
Even if, like I said, in that moment, for example, in that scene where it's a very little thing walking around, I would have been like, I got him. Like if Deadpool kind of takes up the Stan Lee mantle where he's in every movie, but you have to really like find him, and he's not even going to be like, hey, it's me, Deadpool. Is just randomly out there for like a split second. I would like Ryan Reynolds to take that up as this is the new thing, and Multiverse would have been the perfect revolving door for that to have started.
Yeah, they could have easily done something to where, if it's not just Deadpool, but any character really, where...
Or Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are on the other end just drinking. Something, another nod compared to like the stuff, the fan service we got in the movie already.
Yeah. It's like, I can just picture, like, they could open up a portal, right? Mm-hmm. And in the very small, like, corner, you see some dude in a costume just kind of jump through. You don't know who it is, but you just jump through to our universe. That's all you would have needed. You know.
Shit, a bottle of Aviator gin. Ryan Reynolds fans know what that is. And they see it like on the counter. Yeah. They're like,
Okay, so
the finish.
Okay, so yeah, America. The whole movie is about America. She says she can't control her powers. That's why they go looking for another Strange to help her to get back into the right universe. Yeah. And that's why she's like, I can't control. So the culmination of this is, hey, you know how to control your powers this whole time. And she's like, oh yeah, I can. And she's
that's another thing that I wish they would have elaborated on a little bit more. There is no America Chavez in the other universes,
right?
So that has to I like the explanation of the multiverse in general.
But the dreams?
What you see in your dreams is not a dream. It's you in another universe. That's exactly what you're doing.
I like that.
So I thought that was an awesome. That's very for all the crazy time travel shit we got in Endgame and Infinity War. That little nuanced 10 seconds made so much more fucking sense.
Yeah. But it's because it's relatable. You can imagine, oh yeah, maybe my dreams is me in another universe.
My Doctor Strange had a ponytail. I get that comic reference.
Yeah.
You know? But again, they didn't go further with that. They didn't show the conversation of, yeah, I don't have dreams. I don't sleep.
Well, she didn't say she didn't sleep, right?
But
she says she don't dream.
She doesn't dream.
Right.
So how does she not dream? Because the only other way is because she doesn't get any sleep.
Yeah. Where are you going with this?
just more explanation. The 30 seconds of why I am who I am. A little more like layers to her story, and then why she has.
But again, that's what I said earlier. Is there's no development of her character.
There wasn't
any.
At all. That's why
her last name should have been MacGuffin.
That's why
American MacGuffin Chavez.
That's why we kind of praised her work in the beginning for what she had to work with, because it felt like she didn't get much development at all. Her archetype was the essential blueprint of every other Marvel hero first time out, them learning their powers.
Yeah.
Her growth was little to none, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know, which is why the ending was kind of weird too, because if Wanda was like, oh, there's somebody that can travel through multiverses. Hey, Strange, could you ask her to like send me to one just so I can, for a little bit, just to get it out of my system? Let me kiss Viz once.
Yeah.
Let me see that the kids are loved, that they're fine. That in itself would have been a very short movie, and you could have had an actual villain.
But see, that's how isn't how they defeated her anyways? Like they showed her being hated by her kids.
For everything that you've said about the Sam Raimi style, this felt like Spider-Man 2. Where the villain for the whole movie...
Spider-Man 2? we have three different Spider-Man 2s.
Raimi's Spider-Man 2, where the hero gets corrupted into a villain, which is Dr. Octopus, and then at the very end of the movie, Dr. Octopus saves himself for the greater good of everyone else, defying whatever the snake's voices were in his head. And that's exactly what Wanda was.
Yeah.
It felt like... I liked it, but it felt like I saw this exact movie before. And then I got home and realized... Oh, damn, Spider-Man 2 looked good in HD.
Hey, speaking of Spider-Man, what'd you think of the restaurant? Well, not restaurant, but when they're eating the pizza, and they were talking about...
oh, he shoots webbing out of his butt?
Yeah. His reaction to that was pretty funny. He's like, no, I don't think so. He's like,
well, I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah, but the fact that it's like he mentioned Spider-Man because she said, how do you know about the multiverse or whatever? He says, I had a little run-in with Spider-Man, and
But didn't everyone forget after knowing?
No, they forgot who Peter Parker was. So he still knows Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man's still flipping.
He doesn't know who Peter Parker is.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing we get into. But anyway,
America gives her what she wants.
But the thing is with that is how come there's no other Spider-Mans she doesn't know.
Motherfucker, we got 3 in the last movie.
Exactly.
Calm down.
I'm saying I didn't want to see. But how did she? She's gone to like 73 fucking universes.
There's no Spider-Man there.
Yeah.
Well,
unless you can say that he is more of a ground level neighborhood crime fighter. Maybe she wouldn't know. She hadn't been in New York.
Show me Water Spider-Man. From the water planet.
So you're floating with his legs all sticking out.
So in the scene where America shows Wanda a life that exists with the children,
Right.
did you notice that the Wanda from that universe she took her to also had powers?
Yes. Well, I assume they all did. Like all the Wandas did.
Really?
That's why I assumed.
Because I'm under the impression that the Wanda that went killing was not the same Wanda that went to the other dimension at the end. Because
I thought it was the same one. I thought we were only doing with 2 Wandas.
No, I think there were 3.
You think there were 3?
Yeah, I think there were 3.
No, it's the same one because
that Wanda knew Wanda knew why the other Wanda showed up.
Yeah.
That's why he's like,
because she still had the mark on her forehead and everything from the previous thingamajiggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she came running down. Kids, come over here. So it was the same one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must not have.
Don't try to
2 showings. I didn't catch that.
Don't try to confuse me, Chris. I don't appreciate that.
Do you think Wanda's dead? Our Wanda.
Fuck no. We never saw a body. She ain't dead.
Okay. As Avengers, do you do something with Wanda if she returns? Or because she was possessed by the Darkhold, you let that go? And she's back on the lunchbox. She's back with the team.
Man, I don't know.
She was already evil before she even got joined into the Avengers. Hawkeye brought her in.
Right. Well, she wasn't evil. She was just misguided. Because she didn't know. She was just being...
Darkhold misguided her. Even though she chose the guidance.
Well, I don't know. She did... She
killed some motherfuckers. Not in this universe, though. But she killed a bunch of people everywhere else. Does that count? Do they matter? All multiverses matter?
We didn't see anything, Your Honor. I don't know. I'm sure they can.
She killed a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah. You can do a redemption story. I'm sure.
Or do you bring a Wanda from another universe? That's the lazy booking that's going to bother me. That no one's really dead, no one's ever evil, no one's ever redeemed or need redemption because you can always pull someone from somewhere else.
And see, that's going to bite him in the ass because
sooner or later it will.
Because also they're going to say, okay, we want Tony Stark back. We want Robert Downey Jr. back.
Wasn't the rumored cameo that fucking Tom Cruise was going to be the Iron Man and one of these fucking...
He was going to be the Illuminati.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, fuck him. I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, people were upset because he wasn't in the movie.
You've read some of the books. Is the Illuminati in the movie the right cast? Is it Xavier?
Those characters have been in the Illuminati. Yes.
This might not be.
Obviously not Captain Carter.
This might not be a popular opinion, but if you were going to bring somebody from the X-Men franchise, especially in the story the way that multiverse was brought, I would have loved to have had Magneto.
No.
Ian McKellen.
Professor
Xavier is not the only mutant or only Avenger that fought for what was right. And
it's not about that. It's about the the intelligence or whatever of the combined group. It's the head trust, basically. So Professor X was the original member of the Illuminati.
Okay.
During I don't think it was Civil War. It was Avengers versus X-Men storyline. He got killed, and then Beast took over for his role. But Iron Man, Namor, the Submariner, he was the original member. He was supposed to be in this movie, but some kind of casting issue, they couldn't get him.
Isn't he still supposed to be the villain of the next Black Panther?
He's supposed to be introduced in Black Panther, I believe. Unless that
movie's supposed to be changed. Yeah, COVID screwed up a lot of shit.
That movie's supposed to come out like this year.
Yeah,
in like December or something. I haven't heard shit about the movie. I know Shuri, the actress, she's apparently out or something.
Or she got hurt.
No, she she got hurt.
She got hurt,
but
so
she didn't want to get vaccinated. And without getting political, I'm gonna say that's bullshit. But anyway, that's
right. You would think you're from Wakanda. You have all kinds of fucking.
Yes, you're from the fictional place of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should know everything. You should know everything. Make a cure like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what they're doing with that movie, and
that's the biggest question mark. Is I don't know exactly where it's going, but on an intriguing side, like I'll watch it out of curiosity of where they're going without Chadwick Boseman.
Well, we'll get into that later. Yeah. But so this movie, that kind of wraps up. So yeah, everything's all set back right in place. America Chavez is on our Earth. She's the I forget the name of the temple. She's training.
Oh,
I said it earlier in our
Carmitage.
Yes. She's training to do
the squiggly lines.
Yeah,
she made sparks.
Yeah. I don't know how she's having such a hard time with it. What's his fuck from Spider-Man? He could do it like twice, and he's already opening portals. Where's this motherfucker at? We could have used him in this fucking movie. He could open portals to different universes. Where's he
in
at?
every movie?
He brought other Spider-Man in from other universes. Where's his ass in this movie? I hated that. I hated the fact that
they're saving him for Love and Thunder.
Oh, God, fuck.
He's gonna show up in the Milano like randomly. Like, sorry, squeeze out.
All right. So in this movie, we have Wanda. She goes through a character arc.
She sacrifices herself, so she tears down.
In quotations,
she tears down the temple so that the Darkhold can't be discovered, and somehow she destroys. That's another hitch. She destroys all the Darkholds in all the multiverses, so the Darkhold no longer exists.
Yeah.
So if the Darkhold no longer exists, how does Strange end up with the Mind's Eye on his forehead?
Yeah. You could say that while he used it, that's when he got it. And he's with it.
Yeah.
But my thing is, okay, so yeah, you just mentioned it. At the end of the movie ends, he's going on with his life. A character growth. He's okay with everything. He's moving on. He's fixing his broken watch that he's had this whole time. Yeah. He's walking out the door, humming and singing and whistling.
And somebody plays a wicked guitar riff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, ah!
And then the third eye pops up on his forehead.
And that's the movie's done.
Yeah. Cut to, okay, this is the most confusing part. Cut to post-credit or in mid-credit scene. He's again walking down the middle of the street
like normal. Just two eyes.
Yeah, two eyes, not a care in the world. And then we see this threw me off. Charlize Theron just shows up and all purple get up and
she threw me on.
That too. Touche, my friend.
Yeah.
So she says, "Okay, you fucked up.
We're gonna fix this.
We gotta pay for. You gotta pay for this. Whatever she said." So she has this little sword and she like cuts like a rift in the
time-space continuum.
Yeah, something like
probably the smartest thing I've ever said.
A hole in air or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing on the other side, I don't know if you caught it. It was the same dimension as Dormammu.
Yeah.
In the first movie. So, if you don't know, because they didn't tell you who she was.
And my comic experience is very casual-ish. I thought that was Psylocke. Because of the weapon.
I can see that, but you dumbass.
But I'm dead wrong.
No,
of course I'm dead wrong. It's
okay,
Cleo.
so I didn't know this either, but her name is Cleo, right?
Yeah, Cleo.
Or Cleo, whatever. Anyway, so she's actually the daughter of Dormammu. Right? Yeah, so that's probably why she's taking it back to him, whatever. But in the comics, spoiler alert, they romance, like they get together, they hook up, her and Doctor Strange, right? As men and women typically do. Mm-hmm. So they I think marry and all this other, I think they get married. But anyway, they hook up, whatever. She actually, I think he dies in the comics, and she takes over
Sorcerer Supreme in whatever dimension or whatever.
So, and again, this is where people on the internet, they start,
Does she have to be in everything? Fuck.
No. But it's not the MCU anymore. It's the MCU. Where they're changing all the men characters to women characters. And,
wait, so was Clea and Doctor Strange a dude?
No.
Okay,
but they're replacing Doctor Strange with a woman. That's essentially what they're going to do.
But that goes back to, is that Feige making things up, or is this something that Stan Lee published 30 years ago? Or someone someone published 10 years ago?
See, that's what they're doing, because now
Feige, they want inclusivity with everyone.
No, because Feige, about 5 years ago or so, he got creative control of Marvel Comics.
Got you.
But hey, he controls the movies too. Conflict of interest? I think not. So now, if he wants to do something in the movies, he can start it
in the book.
And
has source material that he can claim as source material.
And that way you can say, no, it was in the comics, though. No, it's in the comics because they planned for it to be in a movie. So, no, y'all found a loophole.
Smirk.
Y'all found a loophole. I don't appreciate that. But yeah, that's where that's going. More than likely, I could be wrong, but she's a female, and so she'll probably be the starring in Doctor Strange 3.
Or 4.
Yeah, we'll see.
3, he has to die. 4, she's actually flying. But that's like 15 years from now.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think overall, Doctor Strange?
Okay. This is not high. This is in the middle. This isn't like high level Marvel movie, but this isn't Captain Marvel. I actually thought the first Doctor Strange was in this category with Captain Marvel, where it's like, you kind of have to see it, you kind of don't have to see it. It's there. I'm glad that it's there, but it's just there to fill gaps. Like Black Widow, that movie happened like 10 years behind in the timeline. Mm-hmm. This is just to fill the gap of her up to the point after she dies in fucking Endgame and she ain't coming back. This is how they introduce Pugh is the girl's last name as the next Black Widow.
Florence Pugh, yeah.
Possibly down the road, again 10 years from now, after they bring back Fantastic Four, X-Men, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, Nick Cage, Defenders, and then West Coast Avengers, and then Mexican Avengers, and then World Space Avengers, and then Captain America and the Moon, and then we'll get to them.
You forgot Daredevil.
And Daredevil. And then we'll get to them. This was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be, knowing that there were things that I didn't know if they were going to explain right.
Yeah.
This is like the middle tier. This is I with all intents and purposes, after No Way Home, I was like, there's no way they're going to make this as good. There's no way that it's going to be as good as that. They're going to make it better than the first Doctor Strange that I thought was it was all right. This was pretty good. So this is high. This is like almost like best of the rest. There's that tier above, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Iron Man 1, Civil War, not Endgame, Infinity War. The stuff that Beholden that starts that keeps everything continuous, and then the next level, I'd say right there is Doctor Strange.
So, I enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think more so than some other people I've been hearing them talk about it. Because, again, religious beliefs, other themes in the movie, I don't think it's not going to hit everybody the same for obvious reasons, right? But for me...
Even past...
Go ahead and interrupt me, go ahead.
Even past political or religious, the witchcraft stuff itself is kind of a hard hook to bait. And they still kind of pulled that off.
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I may.
Of course.
Okay. So, being a horror fan, I enjoyed the aspects that they were doing. And plus, we've talked about this before in the past about Marvel doesn't just make superhero movies. They have different genres of movies they just happen to have superheroes in them. Mm-hmm. So we had your sci-fi, we have your not your westerns or anything like that, but your action, your spy movies and things like that. Now you have your horror movie. Right? So I'm glad they finally delved into that genre. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think they could have gone a little bit more
push the boundary.
Yeah,
at the risk of changing the rating.
That's the thing. That's the factor. You don't want to. Maybe they did have a good balance.
Again, from what I've heard, is that Deadpool, the next Deadpool that comes out eventually, is going to be the first rated R movie.
I believe that when I see it. Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted the first rated R to have been this movie.
Well, anyway,
if you're going to go for R, just go full bore. And I don't see any of the characters going full bore. It would have just been the actual visual content.
Well,
the devil stuff.
all that devil stuff.
All the devil stuff. Yeah. Scarlet stuff, which is
the whole protagonist or antagonist of the movie. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Maybe not as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it. And I think that is because what we talked about before, where a lot of the stuff was already revealed to me ahead of time. So I couldn't really invest too much in it. And then at the end of the day, after the movie was over...
What's next?
What's next? Like, nothing like changed the course of the MCU like I thought it would, right? And this is the second time they've done this in a movie, where first with No Way Home, and now with this one, where you think that it's going to open up literally all new worlds for them to start bringing in characters, and they kind of pull the rug out from under us, right? They kind of wrap everything up, and they don't really expand upon it. And I'm like, okay, how many more times can you do that before you start getting irritated, right?
You introduced America. Where's she going next? When are we seeing her next?
Apparently she's just training to be one of the...
Are we waiting 4 more years before she comes out in the next Doctor Strange movie? Or what?
Yeah. So
I'm sure we're going to see Wong in She-Hulk, because apparently Abominations in it, and we had Shang-Chi where Wong was fighting Abomination. So I'm guessing we're going to see him there next. I'm not sure when we're seeing Doctor Strange
I'd rather
again.
not. Like I said, I want to take a break from these characters. Yeah. Like nothing against the characters. It's like, come on. Yeah. There's more to Marvel than this. I know there is. I've seen like 12 years of it.
Besides the stuff that's already slated. Love and Thunder, Black Panther. What franchise would you want to see next? If you're saying, let me get a break from Doctor Strange. We've already got Spider-Man and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see get tied into Phase 4?
That's the thing, man. They're going on a whole
Assume COVID wasn't a factor and there's no timing issue in March 2023. What's next?
Not knowing what's coming out. I mean, I know Thor is the next, right? Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, after Thor and Wakanda, that we know is done. This is going to come out this year. What would you want to see next? What would you want to see start off 2023?
That's the thing, man. There's no more Chris Evans. There's no more Robert Downey Jr.
Okay, you say there's no more Chris Evans. You don't want to see Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie?
I'll give it a shot. I'm not against it, but when you tell me what I'm looking forward to, I'm not looking for. I'll watch it, but I'm not excited for. I'm not anticipating.
Timing's not an issue. You have no interest in Ironheart, or is that not aimed for you? Is that for a younger audience?
It may not be aimed for me, and that's the thing. They're going for like Young Avengers type stuff right now, right? So they've clearly been building. Well, it was subtle. I don't think it's as subtle as what it was. But you have America Chavez, you have Kate Bishop from Hawkeye,
which I haven't seen that series.
You have still
no.
Then you have Wanda's kids, right? You have, which he was introduced as a side character, but didn't really do anything in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. The grandson of Isaiah or Elijah, whatever. Anyway, the grandkid is going to be the fucking whatever. So anyway, that's like 5 or 6 Avengers they have right there for Young Avengers. So. Yeah. Oh, and then Ms. Marvel. Which, yeah.
I might watch it for the sake of watching it, but I understand marketing. You have to appeal to the kids because they're going to grow up. Our phase almost, I think, in Disney's eyes, you and our phase ended with Endgame.
I think so.
And even Spider-Man, as much as I love Spider-Man, he is the youngest Spider-Man that we've seen right now with the movies. Yeah. So he's going to be like the leading kid, leading this next generation of heroes in the next 10 to 15 years for the younger people, younger than us, 20s, 25s.
I mean, they got to build they got to keep the
build a future.
They got to keep going.
It wouldn't shock me if we're 80 and this storyline, this franchise and this storyline is 70 movies deep for kids and kids and kids. And that's the one thing that, like Star Wars. Star Wars was in the 70s. My dad watched that, and then when the first 3 movies came out, that's when I got introduced. And then when this last trilogy that came out, my nephews got introduced, and that's 3 generations.
Yeah.
If they want to do the next 2 or 3 movies for that Star Wars, then another generation will be introduced. But we're all we're all brought together by that, among other things in life. But Star Wars is what the thread that gets together. That too.
Just this, nothing else.
And that's the same thread. I feel like what's coming. I think Thor might be the last one, if not Black Panther, that's aimed at us, you and I.
Yeah, and then on top of that point, man, in this new phase, like so many characters have skipped a line to get into movies. Like phase 1 was your classics from the 60s. This phase is like all like in the last 10, 15 years, characters being created. They're in movies. So there's like a whole like generation of comics they just like skip right past to get to the current stuff. So maybe they can go back and do some of this too, but I don't know. I was going to say something else too, but I lost my train of thought. One thing I was going to say. We mentioned the numbers earlier, right?
Yeah. But reactions.
Yes, reactions to. We'll get to that here in a second. So, as far as box office, this domestic, here's all the movies that it beat for the MCU. It made more money than The Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
The first Doctor Strange.
Of course.
Shang-Chi. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thor: The Dark World.
That was on the lower end of the movies, Thor: Dark World.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
The First Avenger. Captain America, First Avenger.
Okay. Yeah.
The Eternals.
Oh, yeah.
And Incredible Hulk.
Wow.
Yeah, The Incredible Hulk is the lowest grossing movie. Eternals is the next lowest grossing. But then again, it was during the pandemic. But so was Black Widow and Shang-Chi. And this. So, fuck Eternals.
But that was during the tail end.
Fuck Eternals.
I agree with you. Fuck Eternals. But two things can be true. And some of those movies were towards the tail end of the pandemic when stuff was starting to open up, even though it wasn't a lot.
Black Widow is the only one that was in the midst of the pandemic. But yeah, fuck that too. You know. So reception. So
Sam Raimi lovers, thumbs up.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like the reception has been lukewarm at best for this movie. So, I don't know. Anyway, I guess we kind of talked about it earlier.
Still too much? I think, if I'm not mistaken, up until the week of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man was still in the theater.
Yeah. Maybe it is too much. Maybe it's all clogged in together.
Maybe is 2 a year the tipping point?
No, we've always had 3 movies.
Sometimes 4.
Yeah.
Before COVID, I think when we were really getting in our stride.
Phase 3, we're getting three every year basically. Yeah. I don't know. So and this year it's only just 2 other movies, right? So that's 4 movies.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So
and in between, and that's the other thing. I think because they have so many options of distribution, at some point, okay, Spider-Man, Loki, fucking this movie, Winter Soldier, the next movie, Moon Knight that just finished, the next movie, She-Hulk, the next movie, Miss Marvel, the next movie, and that doesn't even include stuff that they could be doing on TV,
right?
That they could be doing that we don't even know yet. If you are the fan that is just for continuous sake, you're watching all of it, the burnout's coming if it hasn't already. Yeah. And that's the other part where I did notice fans that are only taking the timeline of what they see in the theater, oblivious or not understanding everything because they're taking parts from Disney shows that they don't watch.
Okay.
It could be, and I think the part of the fatigue is why I haven't seen Hawkeye yet, and why at some point I'm gonna just sit. Hawkeye, for whatever reason, it's one of the characters that interests me the least. The only thing that interested me at all was the Ronin part during Endgame. That was the only time he had some kind of, I don't want to say personality, but like charisma. Because he was already brooding and lost.
Well, I would say watch Hawkeye only because he's like the everyman. It's like he's one of us basically, and the way he's all beaten down and bruised up, and it's like this got a fucking attitude.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, literally, okay. That's how Myrtle? It is.
Yeah. I definitely want to. It's only 6 episodes in a weekend, a Saturday that I'm not at work. I'll probably binge all of Moon Knight just because it's something completely fresh in the Marvel side. But I haven't really heard that many good things about Moon Knight either.
So it's good, but my thing is, and not to go on a whole other fucking tangent on this 30-minute episode, it's been 2 hours now. The Moon Knight was only 6 episodes. Starring Oscar Isaac, movie star, right? But the way it ends, like, I don't see it going anywhere other than maybe another season. I can't see him moving into the movies.
No cameo in the movies? No buddy movie?
I can't see it.
There is no other character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that complements the story in Moon Knight that you can have.
It's so
Moon Knight
separate.
On the big screen.
It's so separate because it takes place in parts of it takes place in Egypt. What other thing has been in Egypt in the MCU?
How far is this Miss Marvel kid?
I don't know.
From the show.
India.
Well, I don't have the map through the geography lesson right now, but
yeah, no. Is she? No, I don't. She's Muslim. I know that. I don't know what country she's from though. You can watch it on Disney Plus when it comes out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, they have in that show. I saw the trailer for it. That show is not aimed for me at all. Like, I have no interest in that fucking show.
Is She-Hulk into you?
Damn right it is. And I'm waiting. That's the one show I'm waiting for. And they finally released a release date, August 18th, I think, is when it comes out. That's destination viewing for me.
When does Miss Marvel come out?
June, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
I just brought up this question. Let me throw it the other way. would it be considered overload if they release Miss Marvel and She-Hulk at the same time, knowing that one's for you and one's for another audience?
Nah, they won't do that.
Ever?
No.
You don't think there's a salt in the hourglass, sand in the hourglass? You
No, but I like it when
you have to get all these characters out because we want to see all these other characters that are yet to that you said that have been been left behind because other characters are getting cut in front of the line.
Well, here's the thing: when the Disney show started, they had a pattern of their releases.
Yeah,
and it worked so well. Like one show would start and end; it would have a break, like a 1 or 2 week break, and the next show would start.
Maybe catch a movie in between.
Yes. And it worked out so well, and then this year just kind of fell apart. Like I don't know what they're doing anymore. Yeah.
That I'll give them a little pass with COVID. I think that's we're still underestimating how big a deal
the production side of things.
On the production side, how COVID just ruined all that to death, and they're just now
we're starting to see the effects of it. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's gonna wrap it up since I have no voice left. I'm not used to talking this long anymore. God, this is like a full-on episode.
We need to get you back in shape, man. Crank out some more of these.
On that note, thank you for those that are still listening along with us. We appreciate. Leave a like and comment below. Yeah. Tell us what you thought of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Did y'all laugh at the word Illuminati came up? Because I heard some people are laughing. They kind of chuckled. The Illuminati? Really? Get the fuck out of here.
Doctor Strange Part 3. Scientologists.
Oh. You laugh. Never say never.
All right.
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, leave a like, comment below, and until next time, always remember to pop your culture.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't say it when I say it. It doesn't sound right. It sounds no, it doesn't sound good.